Okay, so on the midterm quality reports, I pulled them all down. I made sure that the um, like username ABC123 was in the file name of each of them, and then I produced two documents. One was a document that has you listed as a reviewer, so find your name in the reviewer column, and then go over. There's two columns, MQR1 and MQR2. Those are the ones you will review. So you'll find your name in the reviewer column, go over, and those two usernames will be the two that you're going to review. So then go to the shared folder and download the PDFs of those. Now you have read-write access to that folder. So if you delete one, it's deleted. And so then the other person that's supposed to review that one won't have access to it. So just download them to your local machine, do the review, and then upload your Word document that contains your review to Blackboard. There's a link in the week 10 folder. Okay, so you each have two to review. I'd like to have it done by the end of next week. So that gets you a week and a half. The rest of this week plus all of next week. Okay, so by the end of next week, you can use that link in the week 10 folder. It's not that difficult of an assignment, but if you think something is grammatically wrong, look up the grammar rules, and refresh. So this should improve your writing too. You're not a copy editor, so you're not having to edit the document and provide suggested wording. You see, that's different than just reviewing. You say there's a typo on line 15, the word financial. I think I use that as an example, and I put financial. You might put in quotes the word that's misspelled, but you don't have to rewrite an awkward sentence. If a sentence is rambly and a run on or just some awkwardly worded sentence, you can say lines 3 through 6. This is an awkward statement. Can you revise it? It's their job to make it more clear. So that makes the assignment much easier. You're not there as a copy editor to try to make it read well. Okay, you're there to identify the places where you got tripped up. So as you're reading through the document, if all of a sudden in the middle of this paragraph, you had to read that line 3 times or 4 times, or even after that, you still can't figure out what they're trying to say, you need a comment. And maybe they did a copy paste error. It happens to me all the time. And then they left a couple of words in there that they should have deleted. A lot of these errors come from not proofreading your own work. So you produce a document, you think it's good, you're tired, you submit it, okay? If you'd have proofread it a little more carefully, then you would have caught some of these things. And so this is just to point that out. If you really want to take a fine-tooth comb, let's say this is a really important document that you're preparing, an application to grad school or something like that, and you want to make sure that every sentence is clean and crisp and clear and says exactly what you want to say, read your document backwards. Start at the end, read that sentence. Is that sentence good? Then read the next to the last, and then the next to the last. You're reading it backwards breaks you from the, oh yeah, I know this section. Oh yeah, I know that section. So if you ever want to sort of break out of your knowledge of the document, reading it backwards, sentence by sentence, will break the flow, and then you'll be able to actually review your writing accurately and make sure that you'll catch those copy paste errors or those random words that you would have glossed over if you were reading it in the flow of the thought of the document. So that's my pro tip. Let's see. There is an assignment checklist, which I guess you should have used to make your assignment. That you're going to use that in terms of grading it for completeness. So there's 3 criteria. That's the second document I produced. The first was the reviewer and your assignments. The second document is the rubric. So you go in there, you have 3 categories. You have clarity, completeness, and correctness. Okay, my 3 C's. And you have 5 stars on each. And you can see the weighting factors in there. And I provide in that document a little example calculation for each of those so that you can come up with the score. Everybody's going to score the documents that they review. And I have criteria for each of those stars. Like if you've got everything's complete, but you've got a few typos. Typos would be on the clarity section. It's not as clear writing as it could be. So a few typos, but everything else is complete. You could still get a 5-star on clarity. But if you have a major, like you've got a sentence that doesn't have a verb, that's a major grammatical error. Okay, so that knocks you off the 5-star. And you can look at the various statements under each of those stars as to when you would choose a 4 or a 3 or a 2 star. It's not, do I like it or not? There's specific measurable criteria for each of the stars. So it should be a pretty easy grading assignment. And then down below that, you come up with your comment table. It's nice if you can, on your comments, put the category that comment goes in. Like if you count off for completeness, and you're saying that you know, they're missing some paragraph on the checklist that they should have included, then you can put, you know, lines 1 through 3, you know, major missing section, and then put completeness over there on the table, so that you can tell them that's the category of the rubric that was impacted by this mistake. A grammatical error, then that's going to impact the clarity. So clear would be the category. Formatting the chart with the colors of the lines and the dates and all of that stuff, that all goes under clarity. That's the formatting issues. And so we're going to have a lot of issues on the clarity criterion. I expect most people to do well on the completeness, because you've got a checklist, you go through and check that checklist, you turn your assignment in. But the clarity part is the one that's probably going to take the most hits. Okay, but that's the fine tuning. So that clarity row is only 20% of your grade. The completeness is 40%, and then the correctness is 40%. So let's say that there was an outlier that was not talked about in the action log. That would be a hit on correctness. They should have had a log entry for that outlier, and they didn't. So that's a mistake. You put that in your review, and then that would hit the correctness rubric. Okay. Any questions on that? I think you know, again, it becomes easier for you guys if I'm very clear in what my expectations are. So that's what we have. We have a good rubric to use. We've got clear assignments. Y'all will do those. You'll make the last thing is, when you make your review, you'll do it in a Word document, and you'll have a different Word document for each person so that they can easily get their reviewers. Like you'll turn in 2, and so then I'll take, let's say, hers from you and send it to her, and I'll take the other one for her and send it to her. And then that will help me, you know, sort out. If everything's all in one document, then I got to split the documents myself. So you'll write 2 Word documents, one for each of the persons you're reviewing. And in the file name, you'll put your username and their username. And so there's a little file name convention on the upload link in Blackboard on week 10. Okay. So that's the review assignment.